I'm about to put an aftermarket air filter onto my 22-year-old Audi A4. This Audi A4 to be precise. This is mine. It's a 1998 1.8 turbo sport. I've had it for 12 years. I bought it for £1,000 a long time ago, and frankly it's never seemed worth getting rid of. Just stick it in the garage and forget about it quite often when I don't need it. It's very handy as a spare car. One thing though, it's never been terribly exciting. It's very good at being a car. It's relatively economical. I can get about 35, 36 for the gallon out of it, which is about the same as I get from my ridiculous old Rover, which some of you might know about, some of you might not. It's basically bog standard. It's done 149,000 miles. It has never really had anything significant needing doing to it. I've done the cam belt on it a couple of times, but nothing particularly serious. So theoretically, it's relatively sound and shouldn't be too much of a waste of time to play around with on the mechanical side of things. And today, I'm going to do the first bit of that ever by putting an aftermarket air filter on. Just like it was 1996 and I was reading Max Power age 15. So I apologise, you're going to be watching this on wonky cam. I've got the camera sort of jury rigged up against the seat here for some driving shots, all pro-like, you know. So we're going to drive along. We're going to first of all have a go at doing some kind of a before 0 to 60 speed trial using a proprietary app of the lowest possible quality and that was free of charge, of course. I've got no lighting rigged up in here because amateur. And in fact, generally speaking, I haven't really got any particular plans on this video whatsoever anyway. So yeah, this is going to be it. The warts and all of amateur videography. Actually, it's good to get an idea of how loud the car is inside or otherwise. I'm going to turn the fan down so you can hear that, generally speaking, at this sort of speed, doing 30, all you've got is road noise, a bit of suspension, bump thump, and the sound of the relentless Essex rain, which is doing a fantastic job of lubricating the roads, I have to say. And the wipers, obviously, which do their little dance, merrily fending off the rain. But generally speaking, it's quite quiet. Engine-wise, there's nothing much to hear. As you will hear during the 0 to 60 run, if we have a go at one of those, you'll probably hear an awful lot of wheel spin because wet. But other than that, engine noise is actually relatively, well, engine, there's not a lot of induction roar, etc. I'm wondering exactly how much is going to be added when I put this cheap bit of foam in place of the carefully designed Audi Airbox. But we will very soon see. So we've got this lovely straight bit of national speed limit road not far from where I live, which is quite handy for this kind of fun and games and tomfoolery and all that sort of thing. So we're going to use this slightly risibly named Drag Racer app on the telephone, which is free to download. Waiting for GPS signal. The moment the coast is clear and the moment we have some GPS, I will see if this automatically begins recording a series of drag race figures. Oh, it's gone green, so that means it's ready to go. Now, the thing to listen out for here is my appalling throttle control. Obviously with it being wet and horrible, but we shall see how it goes. So if I gingerly pull onto the drag strip and stop and wait for this traffic to go past whilst indicating like a responsible man. There's some beep, beep. That's good, it seems to be doing something. Yeah. There are some very deep puddles here as well, so I'm going to try and get it into the middle of the road before I pull away. So here we go. So go. Yes. Wait for it to go beep. So what have we just proven? Well, we've proven that I'm probably not very good at drag starts. B, the road was too wet for drag starts. C, the car probably isn't as quick as it was 22 years ago. Because the best time they came up with was 11.1 seconds for 0 to 62 kilometers an hour. Now, I'm willing to bet that this isn't the most sophisticated nor accurate of recording methods, but it does give us a line in the sand. So in theory, if with the induction sorted out, that 0 to 60 time takes less than 11.1 seconds, it's a step in the fun direction and well worth the effort. So it's now back to the highly sophisticated technology centre to attempt whatever's necessary chaos under the bonnet to get that installed. So this is the highly sophisticated technology centre, aka a single garage on a 3-bedroom semi-detached house in the corner of Essex. In there lies all the equipment I hope I should need, such high-tech things as a Halford's professional socket set, about 200 piece, so you know, no messing about, and a selection of screwdrivers. Yeah, with any luck, it should be the sort of thing that even a complete idiot should be able to fit and notice notable improvements in performance. 0 to 60 on this car, incidentally, was quoted, it was either 8 or 8.2 seconds, 0 to 62, in the Audi brochure for it. I'll have to ferret around to see if I can find that. I'm pretty sure it's one of those figures or the other. Let's go with the slower of the two, just to be, yeah, so we've got less to aspire to. So yeah, out with the screwdrivers. So what's under the hood? Well, you know, that's the 1.8 litre turbo AEB engine. Pretty much bone stock. Well, it is bone stock, really. 5-valve turbo. What a machine. Yeah, so, I mean, that's it at the moment. The induction is this airbox here, which runs through, or air, obviously it doesn't. The air is received by it after passing through that little gap there, and going through that little bit of trunking and into the big box below. It's hidden behind a heat shield. There's a heat shield here and one down there above the turbocharger, and there you see. Yeah, the engine itself is basically sound. It's a bit grubby. It's got 150,000 miles on it almost, but it's in reasonable health. Cam belt's due in about 25,000 miles time, I think. I'll probably do that again myself this time. That'll be the 3rd time I've done it in the 12 years I've had the car. And I was pretty much due to change the air filter anyway, so I figure out I might as well yeah, do that as part of this whole making things fun endeavour. And this is the kit I'm using from RamAir filters. It's a specific kit for the AEB engine, theoretically. That's the bit that does the filtering. That's the conduit through which the air passes. There's sundry other bits and bobs to hold it all in the right place. The question is going to be whether it can fit anywhere half useful, because what you want is the cold air at the front of the engine rather than hot air from anywhere near where the turbo is or where the heat shield is. So we'll find out when we look through the instructions whether it was designed by somebody with their head screwed on, or whether it's basically a disposable kit for somebody who just wants to make their car make a whooshing noise without any actual performance benefits whatsoever. I'm kind of guessing it might fall into the latter category, but yeah, we shall wait and see. And here's the toolkit that I'll be using. Literally everything that any Formula 1 pit crew could possibly need is in this handy plastic carry case. Let's see if, amazingly, even the 12mm socket is in there as well. That's something that, yeah, It seems to be a bit of a rare occurrence. So the first bit's off, just the trunking from there to the air filter housing. Air filter's in there, obviously these little metal clips, you take them off, shift this whole chunk of gubbins out of the way and you can change the panel filter. But in theory that's all going to go and be replaced by the contents of this box. So let's see how that goes. Of course, one of the inevitabilities is that you'll drop one of the screwdriver heads down into the crap beneath the car. I think I can see it from here just about, but I'm buggered if I'm going to crawl on my belly underneath there, so we'll just have to do without. Hey, look what I've got. Yeah, so there you are. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so we have removed the top part of the air filter housing. There's obviously the airflow sensor. It's going to need one of those, so I'm not entirely sure how the new kit integrates that, but we shall find out. No way back. Well, there is a way back, but I'd rather not. So there's the old Airbox and its components. Air goes in here, goes around here like a whirlpool, spends a little bit of time basking in this here filter, and then what comes through the filter goes through that duct, past the airflow sensor, and then out of this and into the engine, past that little filament there, which is the to the sensor itself. Which presumably is going to have to come out and go into the new thing, but I haven't yet got as far as reading the instructions for that, so it's all a bit sort of like black magic at the moment. And here is the gaping hole left over by the absence of Airbox. Oh, I've got a bit of rust there. Well, there's the thing. So yeah, so the new kit is going to go here, hopefully as close to up here as it possibly can be. But not entirely sure how it goes in yet. All will become clear, no doubt. It has become clear. That screw and that screw hold the airflow sensor in place, so we're going to remove that now. So right now I've got to do some witchcraft regarding this heat shield and some cable ties. And it doesn't really make much sense to me, but I think perhaps at the moment I'm better off just eating some Cheetos. I'm contemplating things a little bit. I'll show you the instructions. So that's what you get instruction wise. Pictures. That scribble there is supposed to demonstrate what I'm doing with this heat shield. Secure the right hand side of the original heat shield to the marked hose using 2 of the provided cable ties. Secure the left hand side of the heat shield to the marked hose using 2 of the provided cable ties. God, I mean, if there was a 3-dimensional illustration, that would be something. But at the moment I'm struggling to see what's the left hand side and which is the right hand side. But I do like guesswork. So I think for the time being, more Cheetos, maybe some coffee soon. Oh, good.
CD changer works. 6 discs. Not bad for 22 years old.
So if all else fails, consult the Oracle, and this here YouTube video this is of a Pipercross installation, but same engine, and it shows the heat shield again held in place with some natty little cable ties, and so that theoretically is what I need to be doing with this. It's just, you know, much easier when you see it in a 3-dimensional image than when you don't. The rain still falls, which is perfect weather for working on a car. So rather inevitably I'm coming close to giving up here. So that picture there is an absolute fallacy. We've got this here, which is supposed to be the mounting bracket, which I've got in place, and that's supposed to screw onto, presumably, where the existing screw holes are in the actual mass airflow sensor, but it's got nothing to mount to, and installed there's nowhere near enough space for an air filter, surely, for the foam filter to go over that trumpety thing. And I don't really like the idea of cable tying shit into place. Also, this here, this sensor, this temperature sensor, is supposed to bolt onto this here bracket with the bolt, or it says bolt singular, that came out of the sensor in the first place. There's no way that's going to go over there. God alive, this is quite shit, is what this is. So, right, this is where we're up to now. The filter, theoretically, is on. The mass airflow sensor is on. Needs the clips being put on it. This is left hanging in mid-air with nowhere specific to go. It's supposed to screw onto this here thing, but there's nowhere to screw it to. There's a hole, but it's never going to go into that at all. The ducting isn't in place yet. It's got to somehow attach to this here. So that's the next mystery. And then that will channel air through to here, in theory, the cold side of this little void here. Truth be told, the whole thing's a little bit on the sort of Heath Robinson side, if I'm completely honest. Not entirely struck on it, but as a temporary arrangement for some fun. It's all reversible, thank Christ, and reversible it will probably need to be. So I might as well finish it. I reckon I can probably finish the Cheetos now. Done some work. So after butchering the supplied bit of aluminium ducting that was steadfastly round and had to connect with an air scoop that is decidedly not round, I decided to say bollocks to it and use the original Audi air scoop, which did a reasonable job with the Airbox, and I suppose it'll put some cold air somewhere in that sort of region. So yeah, all good stuff. So all that now comes to left to do is to cable tie stuff, put clips back in, and drink coffee. Alright, let's make merry with the cable ties, I guess. There's not much else I can do to that lot. Yeah, what a mess. That, ladies and gentlemen, is that hodgepodge of things clipped in with cable ties and left dangling. Well, not dangling too badly, it's just that's unsecured, and it's all just generally a little bit messy, but I suppose I can probably find ways of tidying that up at some point. Important thing is now, though, to see if it actually drives and to see what world of difference the modification has made. Well, it starts. That's the thing. Any difference in noise? Not sure. That's a bit silly. So, has it made any difference to the way it sounds, the way it drives? Well, let's just find out with that little gentle drive. Oh yeah, there's a little chirp. How entertaining. So, if nothing else, it makes a funny noise. So we're going to have another go with the laughable performance measuring app that probably doesn't really work at all. Let's just see if the pickup is any better than it was before. The road is even wetter, so I'll struggle for traction even more wheel spin in second gear like I did last time around. All jolly good, so let's go. Wait for this vehicle. Well, that gave me 10.7 seconds, but I mean, that's margin of error stuff, isn't it? So we'll give it another shot when it's dry, maybe some following weekend. I need to give the car a bit of a wash anyway, so that'll be a good opportunity to do that. Yes, postponed for now. We'll carry on a bit later on.